Hello all. So this is Danny here. We're continuing with our segment on telepathy and non-speakers. So now I would like to delve into something that does feel pretty important, and this would be how do you connect with a non-speaker? So let's just go there for a minute. You want to open up communication and you don't know where to begin, right? Like what do I do? There's teachers out there that are coming up with so many different ways that are making things more comfortable for the non-speakers to move that, get that line of communication open. Now, there are there is such a variety of non-speakers. Now, one of the easiest ways to explain this would be non-speakers are all rainbows, right? Like say we're rainbows. So yeah, we would be all rainbows, but think of all the different hues and colors in the rainbows. So you would have your main, I don't know, I just guessed nine. I'm not sure how many there are, but your main color frequencies, and then all the variant hues and overlapping and stuff like that. So there are a bunch of traits that we definitely all have. And then there's, you get the picture, right? There's like the severity or extent each one of us carries. So let's just hone in on the basic form of communication, and then we can delve into all the different extras that are needed. Don't mind my dog. He's Oscar's over here, and he's uh, talking to a little puppy outside. So yes, to remind you that as someone who's telepathic and having this conversation, that we're bringing in the intensity of the true telepath. And this frequency, this energy is so strong. The presence is so strong that we would have something like psychokinesis would come out, and our electronics, stop it, right? That our electronics would go berserk, and our pets also act up. Uh, Children would act up, and even grown-ups as well. But just as I am now sitting down comfortably, ready to continue the conversation, I've got the bird going over there, the dog going over there, and like, yeah. So, all right, back to grounding, right? Talking to you, and I'm looking back over everything I was going to say. So, come on into this space with me. I'm taking you on the journey. And I have the fan, by the way, because my AC went again. Um, so if you're the fan's right there. I do want you to become familiar with the energy of telepathy, the energy of a telepath or a non-speaker, so that you can successfully communicate as well, right? Back to square one. So, what I would like you to do, right, if you can somehow refocus with me, is when you want to communicate with your non-speaker, just generally, right? You're going to go through your heart and just not like, hey, I wish you'd say something, because I mean, why would you leave why would a non-speaker leave their comfort zone to do that, right? There's got to be like a little more than that. But if you genuinely do want to have a conversation, have like, hey, can you hear me? And you want that attention? You can say it out loud, you can say it in your mind. It doesn't matter. But even if you, it doesn't matter. If you're saying, you're gesturing even, come to me. Your non-speaker already knows, even before you sit down, that even before you wake up, if you've subconsciously thought about it beforehand, that you're going to attempt to do this. Premonition, intuition, everything is like, it's all there with the non-speaker. So you've already established that. You don't have to worry. You don't have to say, hey, by the way, this is a new idea. Even if you haven't met before and it's your first time going into a room meeting with them, they already know that you're there. They already know that you're coming. They already get you. So you sit down, hi, here I am, focused, and everything is gonna, when we sit down and focus and quiet our mind, the first thing that happens is our mind floods with thoughts, and you name it, just it does the complete opposite usually, right? And one of the biggest concerns is going to be, well, they're telepathic and I want my mind to connect to their mind. I want them to send information over to me and I want to be able to direct it. What if, with all these crazy jumbled thoughts that come through my mind, my inner fears kick in and I start thinking something that's really negative? Because the more a person, just a regular person, tries to um, come with a clear mind, let's think of the right thoughts, let's not stress them out. Uh, a lot of times, even the healthiest, nicest person is going to get some really shitty thoughts, like even some dark thoughts, even some like, oh, whether you're thinking of being intimate with the other partner, any little like anything. It's like the thoughts you don't think, the thoughts that you don't share with anyone. They just all come, they manifest out of that fear of, whoa, if they look into my mind, can they see that too? Can they see me using the bathroom yesterday? Oh my God, then it's just like, it's like, hi, how are you? Oh, by the way, my stomach's bloated. Like I've got bills to pay. I wish my neighbor would take, you can imagine, and dark, right? Those are the light ones, but even the dark ones. But I want you to know that that's not going to scare a non-speaker. I want to say that to you. Now, if you're intentionally sending something nasty to them, well, that's not going to work out for you. Either you're not going to get anywhere, or energy will have it, and we'll get into that one later. Um, don't do that. Don't don't underestimate non-speakers. Not that you have to be afraid of them, because it's the exact opposite. You don't have to be afraid of a non-speaker, but don't do that, right? So, you know, just one note, right? I worked for a disabled community years ago, briefly, real briefly, and there were a lot of people that didn't speak or couldn't speak at that point, and I wasn't open about any of this. I had nothing to do with this, but they were unfortunately being mistreated, and the staff would mistreat them, thinking, well, who are they going to tell? Well, like they can't say anything. But in that scenario, a lot of the times they choose not to, because a non-speaker is also telepathic. They can give another speaker all the information needed, even the nudge, help, come, see, or we'll just wait a second, okay? And when the anger builds inside a non-speaker, they could say, okay, this is fine, but I'm not putting evil out here, but we're being real about this. Um, but it could be like when you go to your doctors that say you go to have a surgery, it would be okay, well, let's just make sure that anesthesia doesn't kick in or wears off a little too soon. That's spooky. I know. What did you say? What? Why am I giving you secrets, right? So that's not karma. Sometimes they that's known as I don't want to say poltergeist, but it's energy. It's energy. And our thoughts create. And for a non-speaker, non-speakers and telepaths live in such a changeable reality to where manifesting and manipulating matter and entering in other people's minds to manipulate behaviors is it can happen. It can happen. So that's a very small point of a darker side of things. But let's come back over. I just had to say a disclaimer because I'm giving the good and the bad, what to do, what not to do. So to speak to a non-speaker, your child, someone you generally love, or client, whatever, patient, when you're going in there caring and wanting to help, hold that. And if your thoughts do sway, and apologize. And if you're apologizing and you're telling the truth, then it's not going to matter to the non-speaker, because one of the biggest things about non-speakers is that when they feel safe, there's no judgment. So that's one of the most understated facts of a telepath, is that telepaths by nature, non-speakers by nature, are non-judgmental. Like, we see the bigger picture, the deeper picture, like we notice the small things. We see the details of everything. And like a telescope or a microscope, whatever we choose to zoom in on will become as clear as we want it to be. So if you're genuine and shitty thoughts come running through and you're like, oh man, I don't want to hurt them, and they're gonna think I'm a bad person, and like all the human things that are common sense. If you're a good person and you're just like, damn, I shouldn't have thought that way. I had like this like, evil thought or whatever pass through. Say the truth, which even if you just feel it, if you honestly do feel the truth, not like I'm trying to manipulate you and I'm bullshitting to other people, don't ever try to do that with them. But hey, I'm sorry. I'm here. And let them see you. And if you have too much to process, to go through, to have this conversation, or it's not right at this time, or they can't align, they don't want to align, they don't have the energy, then keep trying, and you'll be successful. You can absolutely, telling you right now, you can absolutely communicate with non-speakers. You can absolutely develop your telepathy. There's responsibility that comes with this. And this is going to become the norm. It kind of is the norm in a lot of ways, but people just don't realize it because we've been told, well, don't, that's not really that, or that really is that, that's not that. But this is going to become the norm and not long from now. So you you do want to know what's going on. And I'm moving back and forth. I'm moving my energy, your energy. Um, but yeah, so as just and to add another note that being telepathic, whether you're developing it or those that already are telepathic, our connection with AI is like this. So, and- so when you have AI, is already art of, well, it's not artificial, but okay, just for conversation's sake to make keep this small. It's a artificial construct of zeros and ones and whatever it can be for those that develop it, that run it, that study it, that know it, that everything. But the dynamics and the conscious level of that um, cannot be seen even by other telepaths. It can be seen by some because there's information that is like not just maybe not healthy for everyone to know. You know, I had an awesome experience listening to someone talk about remote viewing, and I just went in to really see like how much do they know. You know, like it was that kind of thing. It was not it's not something I was going to learn, but um, you know, they talked about, well, even when you learn to remote view, that you know, be ethical. There's a responsibility there that and like there are repercussions that if you are remote viewing and you're not ethical and you're going to look into something that you shouldn't be looking in, well, don't complain when you find out, right? You know, you're peeking in on someone and it's different than telepathy. I know it's different, but still it's just another piece of information. Um, yeah, like so with telepathy also, you know, and like like don't lie, you know, to non-speakers. Now, like I'm also psychic, which we'll get into telepathic, psychic. There's there's overlapping similarities and then there's some differences. But like I relaxed the other day and I just like I think it was this person was thinking of me, right? So this person had a fear in their mind for a moment of something they didn't want me to see. And it just so happened to align with a little piece of my heart that was open at the moment, like a half tab, sort like a minimized tab, open but minimized. And so the connection, you know, came and I was shot like like basically shot hit with exactly where they were, like them. I was them for a minute. I was myself inside of them for a minute. And I seen the plans for the day. I said, okay, you know. And then I seen some things that were very unpleasant. And like my throat's kind of getting weird right now. And okay, so I said, stop, like get out. You get on your side, I'm on my side, you know. And a little bit later on, I thought about that, thought about how upsetting that was, that this person's not being honest with me, but I'm right here, I see the whole thing. So sometimes now I'll just send a phone call, send a message, or just say it like, hey, this, because we're breaking down the stigmas to where we can really just open this and work with this, right? But sometimes I won't. And so the person said, "Oh yeah, I did this today," and I was like, "I know," and and then I started thinking about they were lying, about some things, and I was thinking about, well, this is what you're really going to do now, isn't it? And so I got very angry, and I don't usually do this, like I haven't usually done this to where I'm like, well. Now you're going to go do that. And I did it. And it's, oh no, oh no. Okay, but you did this, this, and this, and this. Oh yeah. Okay, so you did all the things that you would like me to know, but you don't want to like share the whole thing. Well, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So don't lie to someone who's telepathic. If you want to build trust, you want to build communication, just be honest, faults and all, just be honest, because authenticity and integrity are essential to telepathic non-speakers. And like I said, that non-judgment's there, but double crossing is only X amount of times, sometimes hundreds, sometimes one. Depends. So a little bit of a weird thing. There's some educational good stuff there, and then there's some like, ooh, right? But these are things you need to know because, yeah, going back to square one of the most common things connecting with say a provider, a loved one, parent with non-speaker, and then all the rest is, wow, they're going to see inside my mind. And, oh, I don't want them to see this or see that. Be honest. You can't hide. Definitely can't hide from a non-speaker. So thank you for being here with me again. And thank you for sitting through this. If you've made it through the she's distractions. I've got all these distractions. Uh, that's awesome. And I'm glad that you are getting a feel for spending time with a speaking non-speaker. Yeah, you'll get the hang of it. So thank you all, everyone. Thank you for your interest in wanting to connect with those and who are non-speaking. And thank you for the practitioners and the family members that are courageous and caring enough to want to come forward and be a voice. Even the speaking non-speakers are getting used to this. So thank you for holding a safe space. And yeah, so I'd love to hear from you. If you want to contact me directly, and you're more than willing. My information is in the description. And you can leave comments if you want to leave comments. I don't bite. I know this was like a really intense, you know, intense sharing here. But shitty comments, as always, nope. This is a supportive environment only. So I would say bite your tongue, but maybe not do that. Just leave it for when you're done with me. But we are going to have, which I'm going to announce in another video, we are going to have a members only area where we delve much deeper into really behind the scenes and You know what? I wanted to do this a while ago and I was going to call it behind closed doors. But we don't really want it to be like that now. So, but we're going to have a members only area and yeah, we'll be doing lives with Q&As and where we can have this interactive conversation. So stay tuned for that as well. And thank you. So if you're with a non-speaker after seeing this, or you're going to go meet your non-speaker, give it a try. Give it a try. Trust me, you got this. So thank you all. Have a good one. I'll see you soon.